Hello and welcome to another Junk Journal Snacks episode. As you can see here, I have my current planner. If you missed that video where I made this cover, you can find that linked below. I have lots more pages to work on for August. Everything is still empty here. So I thought I would take you along and maybe you can get some inspiration for working in your own planners or journals. I'm trying to use things that I already have. I have a lot of things that I have made in the past and that have not found a home yet. So I'm trying to make those piles a little less, although it is quite a futile exercise. But still, it gives me such a good feeling to use something that I've made a while ago. So I have this basket here in which I keep some die cuts and some fussy cut things and other random things. And as you can see here on top, I have these tiny little envelopes. I made these in last year's Embellishing, which was a collaboration with my dear friend Louisa Heinzel. I will link that playlist for you below in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Louisa and I had a collaboration in which we made a video each day from December 1st through 25th using prompts. And we had so much fun and we made a whole bunch of ephemera. And speaking of Embellishing, I've been already getting some requests asking about this year's Embellishing 2022. And I am now in a position to tell you yes. Louisa and I have been talking a lot and we have made plans and we plan to make it better and bigger and more interactive. Of course, there will be lots of freebies again for you. So we really hope you will enjoy it. And we're trying to switch things up a little bit, but in essence, it will be very similar to last year. So I'm hoping that you will join us for that again. More information coming. So coming back to what I actually wanted to do here. So I have 4 of these little envelopes and I will link the video, which was December 9th, where I made these. And 3 of these are made using tea bags, like I show you in the video. And I'm not sure if I show you making this one in the video, but this is the same concept, but not using a tea bag. So basically what I did was I took a strip of piano paper, which I had already decorated with paints and coffee apparently. So if we have the piece of paper, all I do is I fold one longer strip up and then I fold the other piece down, leaving a gap here. And then in my case, I just sewed along the edges. You could also, of course, glue it. And then here I also added a little notch, like a little half circle with my circle punch, but you don't have to. I don't have that on all of my pockets. See, for example, this one doesn't have anything. So super easy to make. Then I just added some embellishments here on top and then you have an adorable little pocket. So this is the one I want to use. And I want to add this little seahorse from my August clip art under the sea. And I want to add him to the top. There's actually 2 things I should do. Originally, I had planned on adhering him in such a way that he would be cut here in the middle and the bottom half would stay on the bottom when I open the top. But now I'm also thinking another fun way might be to first glue him onto a cardstock to make him a little more sturdy because currently he's just on some copy paper. And then I could just glue the top half on and then the bottom half would just flip up. I've never done that and that would be cute as well. I'll stick with my original plan. So I'm going to position him. So I want him like this. Then I'm going to hold him in place, flip him up, and then I draw the line where I need to cut him. I made the worst line possible. Okay, so now we can glue the top. Okay, and I have to attach this tiny piece of the wing. Okay, here we go. So let's find a page I want to add him to. I think it needs to be a rectangular page. This could work as well. So either that, or we stick to a rectangular page. Oh, that's kind of a neat background. Or we take a small one like this. Oh, there's a lot of gold behind here. You probably can't see it. There is beautiful gold shimmer. This was again one of the pages I tore out from Nadia's journal, in which I usually work in for my snacks, trying to get rid of some of the bulk. Yeah, I actually really like it here. So what else can we add? Going back to my little basket, another thing I have multiples of are these cute page tabs. I think these were sent to me in a happy mail, and I think they're adorable. And another thing I have is this stamp, which is from the Tim Holtz Field Notes stamp set. And a page tab is always fun. So we could add that here. And does this fit? Well, the stamp itself would fit, but if I cut this out, I think it would look weird. You know what? I'm going to not use that, but use that same stamp, because our little Mr. Seahorse here with the wings can definitely be our agent. At least that's how I see it. So again, this is the Field Notes stamp set CMS 396. Oh, you cannot see, I'm sorry. CMS 396. You can find this linked below. And this is the stamp. I just love that stamp set. You can probably tell by the amount of times I use it. It's so versatile, and we all know Timmy makes great stuff, don't we? So let's add that here. Perfect. Yeah, oh my goodness, that is just the perfect size. I'm going to attach that to my page using my matte gel. Obviously, you can just use glue. I'm just using this because I can easily apply that with a brush, because I think if I just squirt glue in here, it's going to just go all over. I mean, not that this won't, but maybe less. Ha! No squirting. I'm a genius. Sometimes I get lucky. And since there's an eyelet here, of course we need to attach something. So I figure, what if we take this clip art from this month and we attach one of these bottles? I think the one that makes the most sense to attach would be this one here. What I'm going to do this smart, hopefully. So I'll cut it out roughly first, then mount it on a cardstock and fussy cut it. Again, I'm just going to use my matte gel. And can I just say a huge thanks to everybody who has already purchased this kit, or part of this kit, any part of this kit, or any other kit in the past. I am super, super grateful, and it's so motivating when I see that you like my digitals, because it really motivates me to keep learning how to improve. I still consider myself at the beginning of this digital journey. So that's so encouraging when I see that you like them, so that I improve and make better ones all the time. And also a huge thanks, of course, for all of you who have donated a virtual coffee to me. That's also so much appreciated, because that helps me keep up to date with software and other hardware that I need to buy to keep up with everything, and to buy storage, because the more digitals I create, the more storage space I need. So your donations really help me towards those goals of keeping up with everything. I have this cut out now, and wouldn't it be cute to actually have this looking like glass a little bit? So I'm first going to edge this, and I'm going to use my archival ink so that that won't smear. I think if I use Distress ink or oxide, that will smear later. So I'm just going to use archival ink. If you have something like glossy accents or a clear varnish or something glossy, even glossy Mod Podge, you could kind of get that effect. I'm going to emboss it, so I'll use my embossing pen and I'll just go over everything except that cork on top. I should not be touching this because otherwise the embossing powder won't stick. So let's add some clear embossing powder. Wow, I'm missing a huge spot in the middle. You see that? How does that happen? I don't know. So I guess we'll be adding a second coat. I did wait for this to cool down a little bit. Okay, that's better. So cute. So then we need to attach some twine. So I'm going to put a dab of glue here where the other twine of the image is. And I'm going to take this thin packaging twine and wrap some of that around. And I want to wrap it twice, like in the image. I think I need some more glue here. Okay, and then I could tie it off here on the side, just like in the image. Maybe make a double knot. And then we thread it through our eyelet. And then I will just tie a bow around it like that. Then I'll add a bit of glue on that knot. I do not want that opening over time. And cut the ends short. Then I want to glue on our little pouch here. You could glue it on as a pocket or tuck spot, of course. I'm just going to glue down the whole thing. And I still think it looks a bit plain around there. I have this, which I actually originally had planned on using here on the cover, but then I didn't like the shape for my cover. And I can use this as inspiration for trying to draw my own seaweed or seagrass. Not sure what you would call that. But that's definitely something I can try to draw around here. Maybe we can even draw a little snail down here. And then I'm going to play with my Neon Color 2 water-soluble wax pastels from Caran d'Ache to just color the leaves and have some fun. I'm going to use my water brush. Then let's add some, what is this, gold? It's called gold, but it's kind of green. It's not showing up at all. Okay, never mind that one. Let's try a darker green. This is kind of like an olive green. And how about some of this metallic bronze? And we can add some bronze to the snail as well. And some bright yellow. I also want to add some more contrast, so I'm taking my thinned down black acrylic paint. And I'm not in the mood for splattering. I don't want the whole mess, but I do want some dots around this. So I'm just going to take the back side of a paintbrush and dip it in here, and hopefully that will provide a good tool to make some spots. Oh, perfect. So similar effect without the mess. I love it. It's a bit harder to be more random. So after I dried this now, I'm realizing I'm not happy about this part at all. The snail would have been okay, but the black spots on it are not okay. Neither are all these black spots down here. So we're simply going to cover that up using a part of my coffee bubble paper. I'm just going to tear a piece off, cover that, and we'll never talk about it again. Deal? I know you can keep a secret. By the way, if you're wondering where to find these digitals, guess what? They'll be linked below. Always check underneath videos, not just mine, but in general. Check the description box underneath the videos, because there's always, not always, that's not true, many people don't do it, but many of us crafters add very useful links in those description boxes. And if you're watching from a mobile and you have no idea how to access the description box because it's not visible, if you look underneath the video, there's a tiny, tiny, tiny arrow pointing downwards. And if you click on that, a whole new world will open up for you. This here looks too plain to me now. So I want to add some kind of a ground here. So I'm going to use this stencil from All and Create. The website is www.allandcreate.com. I will link that for you in that description box as well. So this is what the stencil looks like, and I'm going to use my vintage photo, the vintage photo, to stencil some of that design on the bottom. I'd say that's much better. What do you think? Actually, this whole thing looks now like it is under the sea. So that's the sand in the sea, and these are the plants in the sea, and he looks like he's swimming in the sea because of the blue in the background. So then we should add something in this little pocket here. I think what would work really nice with this size is a ticket, or even all 3 tickets. No, I don't want to put all 3 in. I'll put 1 in. Maybe this one with this cute sea dragon. I learned now from you, thank you so much, from your comments in my Plan With Me August video, that this is a sea dragon. How cute are these? I wonder, are they extinct or are they actually still alive? I need to Google that because that is super interesting. Wouldn't it be cool if they actually looked this cute and colorful? I somehow doubt that. Getting back to the task at hand. I'm getting sidetracked so much today. So I'm going to cut this out. So let's glue Mr. Sea Dragon onto some cardstock again. Okay, let's cut him out. I never knew until I watched Nick the Booksmith's channel that when you're scatterbrained that you call it you're acting like a squirrel, because apparently they have the same issue. It's so interesting. I've never heard that expression used here in Austria, or in the German-speaking world, I should say. Although you would think that the squirrels here and in North America behave similarly, right? Anyway, so let me ink up the edges. Unless the squirrels are like orcas or killer whales, who actually have different behavior and a different language depending on what culture they're in. By that I mean like which family they belong to and in what part of the ocean, or in which ocean they live in. It is absolutely fascinating. So maybe squirrels are like that too, and they behave differently in different countries or continents, and our squirrels are not scatterbrained. That would be some interesting research, wouldn't it? So I was so curious now, I just had to Google this right now. This guy apparently still exists. It is absolutely amazing. He's called a sea dragon, and they're found along the southern and western coasts of Australia. And he's in the family of marine fish, which includes sea dragons, pipefish, and seahorses. And check him out. He really is that colorful. This is a photo. Oh my goodness. I am absolutely speechless. Have any of you ever seen a sea dragon? Now that must be absolutely amazing. There's a question. Are sea dragons real? What does it say? They are a type of fish closely related to seahorses. They have a skeleton made of bone, gills for breathing, and are covered with hard bony plates. There are only 3 species of sea dragons, and they all live off the coast of Australia. Go Australia! That's so amazing. Okay, this is not good. Okay, we learned a little something about sea dragons. How long do they live? I hope you're into this because I really am. Sea dragons are hard to observe in the wild, and therefore there are no direct measurements of their lifespan yet. In captivity, sea dragons are known to have lived for up to 9 years. I'm sure it's more when they're free. This is considerably longer than their relatives, the seahorses, which usually live up to 5 years. Oh, this is so interesting. Ooh, what do they eat? Sorry, just this last thing. Sea dragons do not have any predators. Oh, look at that. Their combination of excellent camouflage, tough jointed plates, and sharp dorsal spines offer adequate protection. Yay! Go sea dragons! You rock! Oh, okay, sorry, one more. Do male sea dragons give birth? Seahorses and their close relatives, sea dragons, are the only species in which the male gets pregnant and gives birth. That is so cool. Male seahorses and sea dragons get pregnant and bear young, a unique adaptation in the animal kingdom. Isn't nature just fabulous? I also found a poem on poetrysoup.com. If you want to look it up, it's called Nature's Single Dads, the Leafy Sea Dragon. And since the poem is quite long, I am only going to document the first paragraph, which says, gracefully swaying without need for speed are creatures of beauty disguised as seaweed. Up to 12 inches long from tail to snout, these delicate creatures just drift about. So I think the whole poem is very cute. On the bottom it says, the leafy sea dragon is just one of nature's single dads, worthy of a mention for the survival of their species. Aww. So I'm going to make my writing surface a bit larger by just gluing this piece onto a bigger piece of cardstock, because I think we have a little more space in the pocket. And then I'll cut around that, leaving a bit of a border. I'm going to ink this up again with my vintage photo. And now I will attempt to fit that first paragraph on this backside. Since this piece goes in quite deep and is a little hard to take out, I want to add something on top here to make it easier to pull out. Maybe I can find something in my basket. A star maybe. I have different colors. Oh, there's also a heart. There's a blue heart. I think that's a similar color to what I have on my tea bag. Okay, let's try those. Let's first try the stars. Yeah, the gray is not working. The yellow heart would be okay, but I think the blue one is best, but it is a bit large because it's covering parts of his head. So let's make that a bit smaller. That should work. Let's ink this one up as well. I have some jeans threads here from unfraying some jeans material. That's an upcoming project. Why don't we use some of these shorter threads underneath the heart for more interest and texture? The blue will come out nicely and it's not as harsh as black would be. Some glue. And let's add some glue on the bottom half of our heart and attach that there. So hopefully, since they don't have natural predators, and if we leave them alone, hopefully they won't be extinct anytime soon. We'll keep this one safe in our pocket, and our agent here is protecting him. But what I don't like is this keeps opening, so let's just add a magnet underneath. Let's add some glue here. Add a tiny magnet. Then let's cover that with a piece of masking tape. Then we can paint over that in the same blue, which is my beloved jade green. This is from Action. It's definitely not green, it's blue, but I love it. Oops. Then let's take the second one. We'll let that fall where it needs to fall, and then we'll add some more glue. Close this. Try to open it without losing it. That, and now we can also cover that one. And on this one, I'm just going to trace the music that's underneath to make it not so obvious that there's a tape at first glance. Hardly visible that there's a tape. How cool. So now this stays closed. Perfect. And we can keep our sea dragon safe. Thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.